Ladies and gentlemen, please make your way to your seats. The show is about to begin.
I have more pleasure just beating the brush than anybody in the country.
Hey there, Littermates. Welcome back to Boss Kitty Live. I'm your host, Boss Kitty. It is a beautiful Wednesday. Perfect weather outside, actually. At least here in the Pacific Northwest it is, I think. I hope you all have had a wonderful week. I know it's been a little bit since I've seen any of you. I was on a teeny tiny mini gamers vacation for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We came back on Monday, so unfortunately there was no show, but that means that we're here today with another Tour de Fleece update. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Hello, Bubbles, Crochet, Marie, Yarn, Pirate, Happy Wednesday, Winter, Moonbow, Miriam, hello. I'd say hello to TK, but you know, whatever. Hi, Knit Cat. I hope you all had a great weekend. I want to hear all about it. Show and tell is up, so you can certainly post all about your shenanigans in there. And remember, we do want to see your guys' updates on how much fiber you've spun. We do have a Tour de Fleece designated chat up in Discord as well, and we'll probably go over some of the stuff that's in there in a little bit. What's up, TK? Are you using my platform to cover your stuff? For shame, sir. TK would like you to know that he has not heard back from everybody who is interested in the D&D beginner game, so make sure that you reach out on Discord and let him know that you want that spot. I think there's only a finite amount of them available. I believe he's doing something on the 23rd and then the 6th of August, so definitely check that out. It should be a lot of fun. You guys will have a blast. You got your yarn, gave it a big hug, now you're balling them up. I'm glad to hear it. We've got another round going out, and I actually have to buy more yarn because we had so many more orders come in at the end of the month. So the second round is going to go out Friday. I've got 2/3 of it dyed up right now. I've got to get the rest of the kitty glitter taken care of, and then we're good to go. And then the final round, as soon as that yarn gets here, I'll dye it up. It's a much smaller batch, but that'll be the tail end of everything, and then, oh my gosh, it'll all be out and done with. Hello, everybody. Oh, TK is looking into running a beginner's Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition game for some of our kids in Discord. So if you're interested and you've never played before or anything like that, check it out in the gamer section on our Discord. There's a lot of chat about it. I think he still has a few slots open. Oh, Marie, that's exciting. Whose birthday is it today? Somebody told me it was their birthday, and I don't remember who it was, and I feel terrible about it. I just caught it in glance while I was getting ready this afternoon. I have nothing to plug it into. Sounds like a personal problem. Here. Yeah, it was the biggest box set we've ever had. And honestly, I probably should have given myself more time to get those out than the time I gave, because I didn't think about the fact that it was 2 box sets and the majority of you bought both of them. So not only did we have the most sales as far as, you know, single people ordering sets, but they were all like a double set pretty much. So it was really great. But it does mean I'm like sprinting down the line trying to get these done for you guys. So today we're gonna go ahead and spin a little bit. I've got my green out, so I've already not succeeded at my goal of spinning every day. While I was gone, I spun one of those days. So Friday I spun, Saturday I spun, Sunday I did not, and Monday I did not. I did not spin yesterday either. I was actually so exhausted yesterday that I was ill basically and took the day off from work. And I did not spin. I did dye yarn though, but I did not spin. So we're gonna get caught up today, and that's okay. I'm not looking at it as a failure or anything like that. I'm just doing the best that I can with what I've got to work with, right? So we're working with this BFL that I dyed up. It's that sage green stuff. I am a little bummed with myself. I'm gonna show you. So I started this while I was in California, and it's really lovely. I mean, it's got a really pretty sheen to it. I like the color, but I wish that I had thought to grab the Tub of Joy, this bluish white one, so that I could incorporate it in there, because I think they'd be really pretty together. However, I have split the braid in two because I don't want to do the 3 chain ply on this. I'm just going to do a regular ply, a two ply on it. So I think with the second one, I'll go ahead and incorporate that little Tub of Joy, so you'll get flashes of that blue and white in there as well. Thank you, Roxanne. I really like it too. So far I have, let me get a calculator out. I don't know. It's not a ton. It doesn't include what's on here, but I have, if we're counting single ply, which is how I do this, 66 times, oops, 66 times 3. Why aren't you working? No. There we go. Yeah, okay. Apparently I get to do it this way. That was a dumb. Okay, plus... What did I say this was? 230. So 230 plus 230 plus 230. So in total right now, I have spun up 690 yards. That's where I'm sitting right now. And that's what these two are. These are both 3 chain plies though. So what that means is that like there's 66 yards of this beautiful chunky monkey right here. But it's a 3 chain ply. So the single is times 3 basically. This is that purpley black gradient that I dyed up. It's really chunky, you guys. I really like how it turned out. I wanted it to be chunky and all over the place. I don't know what we're gonna make out of it, but I'm really digging it. It's so beautiful. It was a lot of fun and it was very quick. Yeah, I've never actually spun anything this fat before. So this was a challenge for me, because I usually spin really fine, or not really fine, but I spin pretty fine. So doing something that was chunkier and a little all over the place, it really messed with my willpower, but here we are. This is a merino blend that TK got me for the holidays, and yeah, it's also a 3 chain ply, much finer, right? They're both the same amount, they're same ounces, so they're about, well, this has got a little more ounces in it actually. I think this is 4 1/4 ounces and this is 4 ounces. But this is only 66 yards and this is 230. So that tells you the difference in the fineness of the yarn itself. Some pounds last week and then started stereo packing. Oh, boo, crochet. You know what though? As long as you're healthy or getting healthy, that's what matters. That's what you got to keep reminding yourself. We'll put these over here, like so. We'll put this right here, and maybe we'll actually do a little spins. Later on, we're going to talk about different types of drop spindles. That's the plan. Top whirls, bottom whirls, all Turkish drop spindles, all of them. We're going to talk about them, show you guys what they look like and how people use different ones, so that you have an idea. If you're interested in learning how to spin, what type of drop spindle might work best for you. Of the Toil and Trouble box set. It reminds me of that as well, honestly, Eska, which is probably why I got so excited about it, because I love that box set. I love the Doctor Who box set too, but that Toil and Trouble set like spoke to my soul. Now, maybe I should actually like turn this thing on, right? There we go. Carrying on, you should then. We will be, so the drop spindles that we're going to be releasing this winter or fall with our fiber for those little kits, they will all be top whorls. So that means the whorl of the spindle will be on the top, the spindly part will be on the bottom, and what that generally means is just that you, when you wind your yarn onto it, you wind it on below the whorl instead of above the whorl. It's the most common of the drop spindles. It's the one most people learn how to spin on first, depending on what part of the world you're from, you know. It was glorious, Yarn Pirate. I agree. There we go. And you can see I'm spinning this much finer than we did the purple. Yeah, thank you, Eska. It's going to be, so we're not doing box sets twice a year anymore. We're just doing the really big one once a year. So this will kind of take place of that box set. And I don't know if we will have them permanently. It's kind of a test in the water for yarn for us. But I know that there were so many people that wanted to learn how to drop spindle, and there are so many beginner drop spindles out there that are just terrible. So I wanted to make sure you guys have some top quality. Rashana, if I'm going to use a drop spindle, they're not my favorite, then it's going to be a top whorl, personally. Some people swear by Turkish drop spindles, though, and they're beautiful. Seriously, they're really neat. They're kind of like little puzzles. There we go. Yeah, this is coming apart really nicely. It's drafting really easily. Much easier than the purple did, actually. And I think it's because it's just not quite as saturated. The fiber kit will be for everyone, Earthy Gal. The patrons will have first crack at them. They'll get them 48 hours in advance, just like everything else, because that's part of the patron guarantee, is that any new item that we release, you guys, the patrons, get 48 hours early release on those. So, and those we will have a finite amount of. I can guarantee that we'll have 30 of them. I'm hoping to have more of them. It really just depends on how many we can get from the person making them. I'll know more after this weekend, honestly. But yeah, definitely our patrons get early access, but they will be available to the public. Hi, Miss Monster. Hey, TK. You are incorrect. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Just one moment. I'll get back to you on whether or not they're available just to patrons early. TK thinks that it's supposed to be a different way around, so we're going to talk about it and we'll figure it out. So yeah, I'll get a guaranteed answer for you on that one. Like I said, probably after this weekend. We'll know a whole lot more after this weekend. It's going to make a huge difference on a lot of stuff. All the spinning has piqued your interest. That's the whole point, Eska. That's exciting. I'm glad to hear it. That's part of the reason that we do stuff like this, is so that you guys can try new fiber arts. Yeah. Speaking of patrons and new fiber arts, so our patron-exclusive Fleece to Finish project will be not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. So July 22nd, I believe, is the date. It'll be at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time right here on Boss Kitty Live, and we're going to be weaving, and I'm very excited about it. TK's right. And honestly, if I'm being honest, if you have a partner in a business, you're going to have differing opinions on things, and there are definitely things to discuss and talk about. You're not always going to initially see eye to eye with your partner, because if you did, then what would be the point of having a partner? The idea is having more than one brain sticking around, you know, to give different options and ideas. So we'll figure it out. We're supposed to see some of those drop spindles this weekend, which is really important in this, and talk to the designer and see how many they think they can get done, and then we'll have a better idea of how we're going to handle that. Hi, Vicky. Can't wait to learn. Your project sounds awesome. Is there a way to watch after? Yes, Winter's Eve. So patrons, my lovely patrons, all of our Fleece to Finish projects, they're available for you guys as VOD. You just have to go to patreon.com and the links are in there. Just do a search for our Fleece to Finish project and they'll pop right up. We've kept them up so that you guys can catch up if you never watched the first ones a year ago, or if you just want to go back and rewatch, or if you miss one of the newer ones and you need to watch it on demand. They're up there. It's not a one time and that's it kind of thing. We want to make sure that you have access to all of that. Megan, I totally hear you on that one. And generally, I would not be an enabler regarding another craft, because I feel the same way about a lot of stuff. But drop spindles are really compact. They're very small. And if that's all you're working with at that time, I mean, so I had a wheel when I was in college, but it was a Kromsky travel wheel, so it folded up really easily. But before I had the wheel and I was in an apartment and everything, I had a drop spindle. They're anywhere between this big, right, to this big. I mean, they can get bigger, not much bigger, but they're fairly small and compact. And fiber, I mean, it's squishy. You can just put this in you can put this in a craft bag with you. You don't have to have a huge stash of fiber. You're eventually going to get that, but it's not going to take up nearly as much room as like weaving might take up, or photography or something like that, where, you know, there's all these extra pieces that you need, because you don't really need that with spinning. You can definitely turn into that. My mom has over 20 spinning wheels in her house. My craft room is a small closet. Exactly, carrying on. You guys, guess what time it is? Yeah, it's time for the Wheel of Goodies and Goof-em-ups. Let's get it on. Okay, let's see what's going on. Okay, so we're going to do the boring legal stuff first. Get that out of the way. Then we're going to straight into wieners. Speaking of wheels, Marie Howlett. Oh my gosh, congratulations. I don't think, nope, there's very few people on my spreadsheet right now, actually. Congratulations, you are our first contestant on the Wheel of Goodies and Goof-em-ups for the evening. Here's our beautiful wheel. If you're new to the show, by the way, hello, thank you for being here. And this is our wheel. We've got lots of cool stuff on here. We've got Ravelry patterns that you can purchase for up to $5 to $10. Game Over, Yarn Tarot, free shipping, domestic and international. Merch codes, which will get you a free sticker and button. Blinky rules, which could get you free yarn, adject animal sounds, and dad advice. TK is working on those dad jokes. I just asked him about it today, so we finally have the secondary computer up and running, which is fantastic. Let's spin this wheel, guys. That's going to be a merch code. Congratulations, Marie.
Congratulations, you're a winner.
You are a winner. You guys, the green on there matches the green on my shirt. So Marie, all you need to do is message me on Discord, and I will get you a merch code. And the next time you order yarn from BossKittyShop.com, you just use that merch code. Make sure you pick up the merch package, which is it's the button and the sticker combo. And then if you put that merch code in, it'll take the price of that package off for you. So you'll be good to go. Thank you so much for being a supporter of the show. We really appreciate it. And if you want to play the Wheel of Goodies and Goof 'em Ups next time, make sure you've hit the subscribe button and that you chat it up with us. Wheel, we'll see you in about half an hour.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Okay. That computer is older than our marriage. Just barely, though. It needs to be replaced, but there are so many other things that we're supposed to be doing right now. Like, I don't even know. Oh, it's stressing me out to think about it. I don't want to think about money stuff right now. You're working on a cat couch. Oh my gosh, carrying on. You're going to have to post pictures. I want to see it. Windows 10 ain't that bad yet. TK's concern is that it's starting to not load digital, like certain digital files, and I don't know, and that it's starting to warn him that certain upgrades can't happen. And it's an old computer. We've been married for 8 years. I believe we got the computer probably 2 years before we got married, so it's about a decade old. It can't be any older than that though, because we got it while we were living in Milwaukee, and we moved into that place about 2 years before we got married, I think. Might have been 3 years before we got married, but we certainly did not get the computer immediately after moving in. Hi, How I Disappear. How are you? Crochet, that's a very, very smart way to live your life. Yarn stashing is a craft within itself. It's like collecting comics. Which is why you guys get different labels for things like our boxed sets, because much like comics, we believe that variants are important. Oh my gosh, it's so funny because I sit around and I'm like, oh, I should be spinning. I'm like, I don't really want to spin right now. Except for every time I do it, I enjoy it so much. Oh, that's awesome, carrying on. Then you use the yarn, as you should. Definitely stashed yarn should be used. I agree with that too. By the way, Samantha, I heard that you said that you gave me a shout out earlier on a community post you made. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That means a lot to us, and it's really important. So if you do community posts or anything on YouTube, or really any platform, you want to give us a shout out for BossKittyLive.com, we really appreciate that. It helps to grow the show. It helps to get the word out, and it means the world to us. So thank you. Oh, How I Disappear. That sounds really exciting. You've had an internet outage for 3 days now, and your data is not happy. You're having like a 2-minute delay. Oh, Emily, that's miserable. So TK realized the other day that we are at the end of the line for our internet. So like from the box to the area that our internet hits, like we're at the very end of that. Our neighborhood is. So if there's an outage, we're the first to go out, which is why we've had as many outages as we've had. Not the personal stuff that we've been having problems with here, just in general. So that's always good to know. We're just going to move this over a little bit. You can see the changing colors there. It's really beautiful. You're trying to work through your stash a little. It was in a few plastic bins, and then it grew into the closet. Killing's birthday. I think we had a viewer at one point who was putting yarn in a shower that they weren't using, and then also in the trunk of their car, so that their partner wasn't aware just how big their stash was. So you're not quite there yet. Hi, Laura. How are you? Hello, hello. I am in love with this mint green. So if you guys end up with another mint green colorway, I apologize in advance. I can't help myself. Wouldn't this be great with like just a little bit of pink though? I strive for that perfect Vanellope von Schweetz color. Clearly, obviously. If I were a Disney princess, that's the one I would be. I'm aware of this. I've embraced it. I'm pretty proud of it, actually. Yet. Oh no, Marie! Yeah, of course, Crochet. If you want to post something about it in like general chat, that's perfectly fine. I think we actually have a place for that, but if it's for somebody else's stuff, yeah, you can just post it in general chat. I don't mind. Now, if my general chat became like, you know, bombarded and taken over with other specials on yarn and stuff, I might be like, okay, guys, come on. But every now and then, that's perfectly fine. I appreciate you asking, though. Everything is better with a little pink. Feeling's worth it. Mint green is my favorite type of ice cream. Oh my god, now I want mint chocolate chip ice cream. Ooh, Pixie Punk. I gotta be honest with you guys. I've thought really hard about making an extra of the box sets, and then making 2 different Stephen West shawls out of them. I just don't know which ones. The only thing stopping me is that I don't know if I would actually wear them very often, and I clearly can't use them as display pieces because it's for box set yarn. So I'm very frustrated by this. Everything inside of me wants to do it, and I'm like, it's not logical. Knock it off. Also, you have so many projects right now. Of your townhouse with Shauna. I love it. That's beautiful. It's like art. I love the slime color yarn I saw, and have hopefully this weekend I can get more yarn. Marie, the slime colored yarn is called Ectoplasm, after Slimer from Ghostbusters, actually. And we should have some in stock, I think, in fingering weight right now. We might have a skein or 2 in DK weight as well, but not a lot. I do have to restock, obviously, but we've been a little busy. They are so impractical, but they're so beautiful. Carrying on, that's not odd at all. I think it's most people make at least 1 shawl in their life for 2 reasons. To 1, see if they'll wear it, and 2, to see if they enjoy making shawls. I love making shawls. Like, I enjoy making them. I just never wear them, especially the bigger ones, because you got, like, I want to wear it like a scarf, and it's just so bulky, and I don't live in a bone-chillingly cold state. So I guess sometimes it is, but that's what my sorting scarf is for, my Hufflepuff scarf that I love so much. And I'm not even a Hufflepuff. I mean, I'm not anything now, but you guys get what I'm saying. Oh, thank you, Michi. Yeah, Bubble did the bubble cardigan. It's gorgeous. Wisdom Queen did a bubble cardigan too. I don't know if she ever finished it, but it was stunning. They both were just beautiful. Half blanket shawls are the best. JK, how are you doing? Oh, mango's delicious. Ice blender, it came out really good with just ice and mango. Sounds so good. Okay, we're gonna move this one over now. I love the little bumps it makes, and then I get really frustrated when they're uneven, which happens all the time, but you know. Well, not officially yet, but her birthday's in September. Oh, that's exciting. I'm trying to figure out what ways to wear the shawls I made on my shawl kick. Yeah, you can wear them as scarves, kind of, sort of. I've just ended up giving away most of them to people who are much taller than me, like my mom. She got my Exploration Station shawl, which is a Stephen West shawl. That one I made it calls for fingering weight yarn, and I used a fingering weight yarn, but it was a bulky fingering weight yarn, so it was even bigger than it should have been. It's beautiful. But she went to an interview to become the fiber instructor at a rec center in town as like a side job, right? Not kind of like a side hustle, just to do something that she enjoys doing. And she brought all of these pieces with her to show off, to represent her talent. And they looked over them, and she happened to be wearing the shawl that I made, and the woman went gaga over the shawl. She's like, "Oh my gosh, and you made the shawl you're wearing." My mother, without missing a beat, takes it off. She goes, "Well, I didn't make it, but I did teach the young woman who made it how to knit, so clearly I'm good at teaching." She got the job. I was like, "You didn't." She's like, "100% did." I was impressed. It was very good. Way to turn it around, Mom. Oh, that's a good idea, Marie. It's had a few conversations with me, sweetest person. Really? She wants her 16th to be unforgettable. I'm going to start saving now. Oh, Michi, I had a basement party for my 16th. It was amazing. Hi, Jet. How are you doing? Emily, yeah, I would too. She's pretty quick, Elena. Elena, by the way, I was out of town this weekend, and when I came home yesterday, I opened up a sweet, sweet package from you. Thank you so much for my garden sleeves. They're beautiful. I was going to show them off on the show tonight, and I completely forgot to grab them, so I will grab them for Monday's show and show them off. They're really lovely. I don't know which ones you picked out and which ones you didn't, but there's one that has butterflies on it, and I think one that has flowers on it, and then the other one has mushrooms and fungi all over it, and they're all perfect and amazing. And I can't wait to get out there and get my hands dirty and keep my arms nice and clean and safe from all the thorns and the bugs and the sun. So thank you. I love them. You rented out the old hippo? What? Oh, for your 16th birthday? That's amazing. That's perfect. Use yours for when it's hot out, but that's the place you're going, theater. Okay, yeah. Doing pretty well, just spinning away on your Kromsky minstrel. It's too hot out to sort wool right now. Oh, Jet, it really is. It's supposed to be like 90 degrees this Saturday, I think. I'm supposed to go to my dad's house, or my mom and dad's house for a barbecue. I'm like, you don't have central air though, and I've become very, very accustomed to a certain lifestyle. Not really. Hi, Polly Knits, how are you? Oh, be careful, Marie. Those mystery set blended in with the others. Yeah, they're perfect. Which ones are the mystery set? Now I'm intrigued. You shipped any boxes out yet? Michi, I have. We've shipped out quite a few. Yours is actually second on the next list. So I am in the process of dyeing the second batch. I have all of your kitty glitter ones ready, but right now, what am I working on right now? Oh, I'm trying to get the Missy colorway done, and that should be about it. So they go out on Friday, and they will be wrapped and labeled tomorrow. Like I was saying earlier, I really appreciate you guys have been so patient. Usually we get these out much sooner, but the sheer volume was so much more than we were anticipating, which is fantastic. Like, you guys, seriously, it made me so happy to know that you were all so excited about these, and it really inspired us to do something big every year. So yeah, thank you so much. Oh, Elizabeth, that's miserable. Yeah, I am so sorry, you guys. I remember one year during the pandemic, actually, Salem, Oregon was specifically where I was living, was the hottest place in the world in that moment. It was like 114 or 118 degrees. I don't remember. I just remember that I told Teak, so I was working from home. We did not have AC, but we didn't have central air, but we had those little AC units that move around with you, right? So I told TK, he said, God, I just want to go to the coast that day, and I can't leave you and the cats here, though. I said, no, please go to the coast, because I don't want to deal with your grumpy butt. Because, oh my God, I couldn't imagine. I was grumpy. I said, go to the coast. I'm going to put both the AC units in the bedroom while I work on my desk. And I will lock the cats in here with me with some food and water, And that is what we will do. And we did. And it was not as bad as it could have been. It should have been much worse than it was. Ooh, working on a mitered square blanket. I would love to see photos of it. Thank you, Winter's Eve. I'm really loving this sagey minty green that I've made. Oh my gosh, you guys might get some mint greens in the near future. Oh, it was miserable, Eska, between the fires. So yeah, you had this miserable, terrible heat dome and everybody was stuck at home. And what a lot of you have to understand as far as the Pacific Northwest goes, Oregon and Washington specifically. So it has gotten significantly hotter here. And I know this is across the board, but very, very quickly, like in the last 10 years, right? So Oregon used to be like, you'd hit 70s, mid 80s tops usually. It was a very, you had maybe 1 or 2 90-degree weather days in the summer in August, maybe late July. We very rarely hit triple digits. Like it happened once every 5 years or so. And so now it happens all the time. And the problem is that the buildings, none of the buildings have central air. It's not a thing that, you know, you go to Texas, right? And it's in every single home, every single apartment because it has to be. But none of these buildings were built that way because it wasn't a necessity until very, very recently. And the problem is a lot of the rental units won't let you put AC units in the windows. So the window units, they won't let you put those in because they can get dangerous. They can pop out, they can hurt the window. Usually you have to put like a strap on the back of it, and that goes into the wall itself on the outside, and they don't like that. So they don't generally, some do, but they don't generally let you do that, and there's no law in place that says that they have to. And so you end up having to shell out $500 or $600 for a portable AC unit that's not nearly as strong as one of those window units are. That's maybe $200 or $50 off Craigslist, right? And it's a real problem. Like there are a fair amount of people who die because of it. I don't know if they fixed that law yet. I hope they have, and if they haven't, I hope that they're working on it. Yeah, well, Earthy, and that's the thing, is that we're getting there real fast around here. When we bought this house, one of my biggest sticklers was that it had to have 2 things. It had to have either a basement or a garage where we could stick the dye studio, and it had to be like it couldn't be a detached garage, and it had to have central air. Those were my 2 musts. Because I just couldn't continue to try to go through a summer without central air. We wouldn't be able to do shows on 90-degree days because it was too hot to run the equipment. Like, that's what used to happen all the time. It was just the worst. I said strap on. But on, shh. But somebody caught that. Oh, Eska, I'm so glad to hear that. Yes, the right half of Oregon has always been much hotter. Eastern Oregon, yeah, you get a lot of high desert and things like that. So the western side of Oregon, where you get down to the beach and you get into like the Willamette Valley and stuff like that, the valley in particular, we haven't had a lot of super hot weather before, and now suddenly it's hitting balls to the wall with all its might, and the buildings just aren't prepared for it. Also, where am I living now? So I still live in Oregon. Yeah, so we still live in the Willamette Valley currently. We haven't moved out of there. I've never not lived in Oregon, except for once when I was a baby. I lived in Atlanta for a whole year, but I was also 1 year old, so I don't remember jack shit about it. And you're not nosy. It's a perfectly fine question. I wish I had a bigger garage with utility sinks so I could scour fleece without bending over and hurting my back. For real. No, our old place, I had to dye yarn in the kitchen. And it was fine. I mean, we got through it, clearly, obviously, right? But it takes a toll on you to have your production studio, right? Like the dyeing and stuff, right smack in the middle of your home. Dyeing yarn does not it's not a pretty smell for most people, right? It kind of has an ammonia-y smell sometimes, and it smells like wet animal frequently between that and the citric acid, and it gets very warm. So having it in our house was difficult because it would bring the temperature in the house up at least 10 degrees. The house always smelled, well, not always, but when I was dyeing yarn, it always smelled like wet animal and damp, even though it wasn't damp. We had windows and stuff open. And it made it difficult, you know, to also try to cook meals and stuff in that area as well when I was dyeing yarn. Plus we had black granite countertops, so it was really hard to see if I had dumped any yarn or dye anywhere. Now I have a whole entire garage that's dedicated to that. If I accidentally dump some dye somewhere, it's not the end of the world, as long as I keep the doors open and the window open so that we've got some airflow in there. Doesn't matter if it stinks, all of that's perfectly fine. I'm living the dream, baby. It was triple, yeah, for sure. The mountain makes a huge difference. Speckled with black, and I want it to be orange. How would I go about dyeing it? So it's you would have to over dye it with orange. You could probably, I wouldn't do just red. I would do an orange over dye, and you're not going to get a true orange. What you'll end up getting is you're going to get kind of a flamingo-y tropical orange, if that makes any sense, depending on the type of pink it is. You'll have a tropical vibe to it. It'll still be really pretty. So that's the way you would do orange. Just stick orange on the top of it. Yellow might work as well, but I would just stick with orange. It's going to be the easiest way to go about it. Those black dots are going to they'll probably stay black dots. They'll just be muted a little bit because you'll have an orange sheen on top of them. The flamingo orange sounds amazing. I don't know why I thought flamingo orange when I was thinking tropical, but it's kind of the same thing. Hey, do wet sheep. The temperature was really hot and I worked with dogs and cats. I would smell like them and I'd have to shower in cool water for sure. Just like that? Oh, you mean just like RIT? So you can certainly use a natural RIT dye, like, you know, they have ones for wools and for silks and things like that. If you can get your hands on some actual citric acid dye, like jacquard or something like that, jacquard does a salmon color is what it's called, and that is going to be a hunter orange if you use enough of it to saturate it. And it's got a pink undertone to it, like the base has got a little bit of pink to it because it's a salmon orange, so it'll work well with your already pink yarn. You have to be careful with things like that when you're doing overdyes. I mean, think about it. If I had a red, right, and I wanted it to become a no. If I had a I'm trying to think now how to explain this. So your reds, you have two different types of reds. You have either a blue red or you have an orangey red. Those are the two different tones of red you have. Our Rockadoodle color was very much an orange red. It's that 1950s lipstick color, whereas Princesses of Mars is more of a blue tone red. It's colder, it's cooler. So you have to think of those types of things when you're trying to figure out what type of colorway you want. So if you're going to put an orange on top of that, you would want to put, like I said, you would want to put something that's salmony and bright on there. So it's got a pink base to it almost. It's a much more pink orange than something like a pumpkin orange. A pumpkin orange is not going to look good on top of a pink. It's going to dull it out. It's going to kind of look almost brownish because it's a brown orange basically. I don't know if that makes much sense. I hope it does. Hi, Matt. How are you? Bam! They're making speckles. Oh my gosh, now that's all I want to do. It's amazing. Hey, Matt, will you do me a favor? Because I don't think I've sent it to you yet. Will you message me in Discord to remind me to send you the gift card for the difference in price for your boxed set? Because you ended up just buying the two separate to fix the issue that we were having at that moment, I remember. And you just wanted a gift card in replace for that 25 bucks. So if you message me, I will get that over to you. I I know I haven't done that yet, and I apologize. Things have been a whirlwind. But I was looking at orders the other day. I was like, oh, crud, I need to get that over to him. Elizabeth, my class on color theory, that's about as far as it would go. I'm not a scientific person. I'm sure that there's a lot of stuff dye-wise that I don't do by the book, that most dyers are like, oh, you don't do this, you don't do that, and I don't. I base it off of intuition. I look at things like what I just explained to you. I'm sure that there's color theory to it. I'm sure that there are scientific reasons that I'm doing what I'm doing, but the only part where science comes in for me is figuring out the amount of dye I'm using, the amount of citric acid I'm using, how hot my water's getting, and how I prep the yarn or fiber before I dye it. A lot of people put much more science into it, and that works for them, and that's great. I have found personally that it does not work as well for me. That I need a little bit of chaos in my dye, my dye journey, and yeah, that's how you guys end up with some of these box sets, quite frankly. Always seems like the closest thing to alchemy or potion making. It really does, right? Would love to try it. Spinning looks so calming. Boy, those spinners are pricey. They are. That's why I said get a drop spindle when we release those kits for sure. And they're going to be at a very reasonably priced tick. So we want to make them accessible to you guys. I never recommend a wheel right off the bat unless you're going to take a class and you can rent a wheel from somebody to see if it's something that you want to do. But if you've never spun before, like ever at all, then I always recommend a drop spindle first, because it's the commitment is much less expensive. When you dye the roving, is it the same process as dyeing the yarn? It is and it isn't. I prep it the same way, in the sense that I put it in the water the same way to get it wet all the way through. And I apply the dye the same way mostly, but the agitation has to be I have to be really careful with agitation, because we don't want to felt the fiber, right? So there has to be very little agitation. So it's more like hand painting than the yarn is. Like, I wouldn't be as comfortable taking fiber, roving, or anything like that and just dumping it in a big pot of water with dye the way I am with yarn. Oh, carrying on. California was great, Samantha. Thank you for asking. I had a really good time. I got to go with my friends. We went to, I don't remember which river it was, but it was gorgeous. It was the clearest river I've ever seen. Here's the thing, though, you guys, is Northern California. I guess generally it's like 80 degrees this time of year. It was 59 degrees, 64 tops. So we go to this park with this beautiful river, and I had been prepared to go in the water. And then to go for a walk, and I'm like, well, it's kind of sunny out. And so my friend and I, we go down to the river. We've got our bathing suits on under our dresses, and we kind of head in there a little bit, and we're looking at the rocks and stuff, and I get in a little deeper, and I finally look at her, I'm like, should I do it? And she's like, I don't know, should you do it? I'm like, it's not that cold. So I take my dress off, and I go to dive in, and this little girl's like, don't do it, it's a trap, it's freezing. I totally dived in. I stayed in the river for like 20 to 30 minutes, but I found these really pretty rocks that I brought home for TK. I could see the fish. Like, that's how clear this water was. It was just beautiful. And the part that kills me is the day we left, the weather changed dramatically. I was like, fuck you, California. What the hell? You're born in California? That's awesome. Guys, it's time for the wheel. Wheel of goodies and goof mups. It's happening, kids. It's happening. That little girl is your hero. Okay, let me get this up real quickly. Legal. That little girl was my hero too. So these are the same little girls that you go to get in the water, and they're talking to their friend. They're like, hey, such and such, we're playing Sacrifice. You should come join us. My friend April and I are like, number one, We're D&D nerds, so part of us is like, that's amazing. And the other part of this is like, little girl, don't do it. It's a trap. Don't do it. Oh my gosh. Let's see who our winner's gonna be. I did put WINNER. Carrying on, congratulations, you are our second contestant on the Wheel of Goodies and Goof-em-ups. This is so exciting. That wheel up. What? No, I said hello. There you are, you silly thing, you. Demon children, for real, right? I was like, I love and I'm scared of you children right now. Okay, here's the wheel in all its glory. As you guys know, we've already gone over it once. We only go over it once, so if you missed it, that sucks. Not kidding. It's a bunch of cool stuff and a bunch of shitty stuff, so let's see what happens for you carrying on. It's gonna be a blinky roll.
Congratulations, you're a winner!
We don't actually have. Okay, wheel, I'll see you in a little bit. That means... So here are our options. We've got some electric lemon in Mo Hairball available, or we have some BKDK Nurple available right now. So exciting. So those are the two options you get to choose from carrying on. If I roll a natural 20, you get to take one of these yarns home with you. Well, I'll ship it to you for free. So I want you to think about which one you want, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll this dice for you. That is a 15. It's a great roll. It's a really great roll, but unfortunately,
Game over.
It's not a 20. I did a hat in BKDK in those two colors. I love it. Electric lemon. You're right. It's not electric lemon. Thank you. It's BAF. And in case anybody's wondering what BAF stands for, it's bright as fuck. It's BAF yellow. Bright as fuck yellow. Okay, so we're going to put these back in cat mouth where they belong for now. Oh my gosh. So I'm sorry that you didn't win. However, the good news is it does mean that you are eligible to play again on Monday. So carrying on, thank you for being a subscriber. We really appreciate it. Before we head over to stretches, you guys, let's talk a little bit about different types of drop spindles. Okay? Let's see what I can find here. So there are a ton of different types of drop spindles out there. You have top whirl drop spindles. You have bottom whirl drop spindles. And then you have, there's more, but we'll start there. So try to find a good picture. That's not upside down. Why are you guys like this? Oh, look at that. This is great. This is perfect. Just use this picture. OMG. Just let me see the picture. Thank you. So we're going a little thing here. So these are different basic whirl varieties. This is called a high whirl over here. This is a convertible. I think maybe it moves. I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to look into it. And then this is a low whirl. So this is a top whirl spindle right here. And what that means is that your yarn, when you're putting your yarn on the spindle, you put it on below the whirl down here. So you spin up here, but when you wrap below the whirl. A low whirl or a bottom whirl spindle is you still spin the yarn up at the top, but the whirl is below, and so you put the yarn above the whirl. It's the same thing, kind of, just upside down. So that's what that is. So if you take a look here, it says low whirl spindles in general are more stable and harder to unbalance. This has made them a popular choice for beginning spinners for many years. It's more tolerant of minor flaws, a slightly bent shaft out of round, whirl a little off balance, than a high whirl spindle is. Modern world master spindle crafters can create anything they choose with great precision, blah, 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 blah. High whirls have become a more popular choice than low whirls in many areas, or mid whirls, and you may find more beautiful and well-made high whirl spindles on the market than any other type. Convertibles, which can be used as either a low or a high. I'm not really sure how, so that's interesting. Let's see, what else do we have? So, these right here. These are those top whirls that we were just talking about. And then this is a bottom whirl spindle, so where you can kind of see in this picture right here how she's spinning or they're spinning and then everything goes above the whirl. This is a Turkish spindle, and this is what I was talking about earlier. So it has two pieces that go together on top of the whirl, and then you spin and then you wrap it like an X around those pieces, these guys right here. It's really cool. I've not used a lot of Turkish spindles. They're really just pieces of art. They're absolutely beautiful. Handmade. And then there's Navajo spindles as well, which are much larger, and it's a type of supported spindle. So you can get spindles that have a bowl that you can spin in, or on your leg, things like that. So we'll look those up here in a second as well. But I want to look up Turkish spindles for you guys real quickly. Turkish spindles. I just want to know about what is the weighty matter of Turkish spindles. So this is what Turkish spindles look like. Like I was saying, it kind of does the whole Eye of God thing that you guys used to make, like in Girl Scouts and stuff like that. Matt, you love them. They make a center pull ball right off. There you go. Perfect. So they do make a center pull ball, which is great. There's a lot of stuff written here. So it's a very old style of spindle. It comes from the first examples were found in the Middle East, which is kind of cool. And like I said, it's a shaft and then one arm across the bottom, and then the other one has two crossed. So I guess the ones that they found in the Middle East was only one arm, but now they're two arms. Spindles, take your marks. So these were all spun on a Turkish spindle. And then they talk about how to wind onto a Turkish spindle. And yes, exactly. It does make a center pull ball, which is a huge deal. And the other thing is that it also is very compact because it does come apart like this. So this doesn't really tell you much about the spindle itself, but that's okay. And then a Navajo spindle. I'm going to show you guys what those look like real quickly. I did not spell that right. Got all the J's wrong. So, like I said, these are much larger, and they have the whirl kind of in the middle of, almost in the middle of the spindle itself. And it's a supported spindle, so a lot of the times you'll use your thigh to spin with it. And they're very big, so they can take a lot of bulky yarn on them. Let's see if I can find other supported spindles. So this is what a supported spindle looks like. And generally you would get a bowl to go with it. And then this piece right here, you put it kind of in the bowl while you're spinning. And it works kind of like a dreidel almost. Almost kind of. So yeah. How does the yarn come off as a ball? You take that whole piece off, because like I said with the Turkish spindle, how those pieces come off, so you can take that whole piece off and then you remove those pieces of woods, that X, and then you've got the ball left over. So that's how that would work. Versus, and that is definitely a plus side to a top whirl spindle, because when you're working with a top whirl spindle, right? I'm just pulling one up that's got a picture of some yarn on it. You have to get all of this off your whirl, and a lot of it can kind of be difficult sometimes. A lot of people will take a straw and put it at the bottom of the whirl and kind of slide it on there, and then slide all that fiber, all that single ply or whatever it is onto the straw so that they can ply from that. So it is a Turkish spindle is certainly easier to get your fiber off of when you're done or when you're getting ready to ply from it, versus a top whirl or a bottom whirl. No, I don't care about that. I don't even know what that was. Anyway, so I just wanted to give you guys a quick idea on the fact that there are a ton of different types of drop spindles out there. Top whirls, bottom whirls, those are probably the most popular and the most simple to find. I do recommend a good Turkish drop spindle. They're beautiful. They're compact. You can get the fiber off there pretty easily. Those Navajo ones, definitely check one out if you can at some point in time. Just understand that it's a whole lot of like rolling on your thigh and stuff, and you're going to normally get a much chunkier yarn, and a lot of like outdoor type fiber from it. So, you know, like Nordic fleece and stuff like that, that's a little scratchier. that still hold a lot of fiber. Yeah, they do. They hold a lot of fiber, and they tend to spin finer as well. Like, you're going to spin finer yarn on a drop spindle more often than you're going to spin anything that's really super chunky. So yeah, there's a lot of different options to choose from. I have 2 holes in a ramen box, and you make your center pole. That is brilliant, Emily. Oh my gosh, that's absolutely brilliant. You guys are so damn clever. I don't think of things like that. I'm just like, well, I guess this is how this is going to work. So my biggest issue with drop spindles, and this is just my personal thing, is that my arm starts to get really tired from doing this a lot. I don't like having to go back and forth all the time because I am an impatient person. But my biggest issues with drop spindles for me is that I break them all the time. Not because they drop. I leave them on the couch and they get sat on. I get them caught indoors and they get broken. Like, I'm really rough on things. So little delicate, beautiful things like that are lovely, but I'm terrible with them. So here we are with my 3D printed e-spinner instead.
It's time to stretch.
It is. It is. Okay, you guys, my back popped so many times this weekend. It's so good. So let's just start with a not quick, but a slow shoulder roll backwards. Just release some of that tension that you've been holding in your shoulders. I guarantee you all have a little bit of tension in your shoulders. Should feel real good. I'm going to be honest though, shoulder rolls are a little uncomfortable when I'm not wearing it, like when I'm wearing a normal bra, not a sports bra. TMI, I'm sure. Because my whole bra moves up and I'm like, no, stop it. And now we're going to go forward. So I guess what I'm saying is that if you can do this braless, I highly recommend it. Oh, good, carrying on. I'm glad to hear it. Okay, once that's done, we're going to go ahead and turn our chin all the way to one side. Make sure you're sitting up straight. Just release the breath and try to go a little further. Release it slowly, come back to the center. Hello, guys. And then we'll go the other way. Oh my gosh, that popped. I felt that one. Just a little bit further. And then release. You can kind of go to one side and the other. Kind of roll your neck a little bit. I have such a stiff neck. All the crunchies. Okay. So now we're going to bring our hand forward and across our body. So I do this one every single time, and that is because my shoulder blades pop a lot. Like, that's where a lot of my stressors lie, and so this stretches that for me. And then we'll release and go the other way. DK weight silk yarn is a gift for me. It's 110 yards, and I have no idea what to do with it. Yeah, any type of little accessory would be really pretty. Have you gone on Ravelry to put those specifications in? We can do that real quickly after we stretch if you want. Look at all this gray hair, you guys. Woo. Okay, now we're going to bring our hands forward. And we're just going to stretch. And now the other one. Oh, it feels so good. And now I'm going to just gently on the top of my hand. Crocheted silk yarn is, if it's done right, it's an absolute pleasure to work with. It's so soft. Especially a DK weight silk. Is it a single ply? Is the yarn itself like one single ply, or does it have, has it clearly been plied over? You're going full witchy woman. I love it. So I'm slowly getting that streak across the top of my head. I've got some right here. I have a lot right here, and I have a fair amount coming in over here. I can see it in my bangs too. TK is very excited about this. And then the underside of my, like the base of my neck, there's a bunch there too. And it's not gray, it's full on white. Which I'm here for. If I've got to go gray, or if I've got to, go a color, that's the color to go. I just don't notice it very often until like it's there, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, like freaking Mr. Fantastic right now. Okay, so let's go to our overhead. Move this out of the way. And then crocheted, I'm going to go ahead and head over to Ravelry for you real quickly. Just for a hot second, and we will look at, I'll show you if you don't know how to search that criteria for your yarn. Here we go. Oh, thank you, Moonbow. Started at 14. Oh, that sounds amazing, Crochet. Okay, that feels good. So, let's go to this right here. I'm going to pop up on Ravelry. Make sure I'm logged in. Here we are. Okay, so I'm going to go to patterns real quickly. I know you can't see what I'm doing. So if I make this a little smaller and bring it over, right here under patterns, there's a section called advanced search. So that's where I'm going to go. And then I'm going to come over here. You said it's a DK weight, so I'm going to click on DK weight. And then I'm going to go ahead and click down here. You said it's 110 yards, right? So I'm going to click this section. You can't see what I'm doing this. Hold on. So off to the side right here, you can pick these different things. I picked under the weight, DK weight. And then down here, I'm going to go ahead and pick for yardage, 0 to 150. This is going to give me knitting and crochet. So just keep that in mind. You can come in here though, and you can change it from crochet to just crochet or just knitting. I'm going to pick both for now. And this gives me 640 pages worth of stuff. And the way that they show you things are things that are the most popular right now are going to show first, and then slowly it'll just go down the line. So you could also put in silk if you wanted to. So if I were to come back in here, there should be a section where I can go in and say what type of yarn it is or what the fiber is. Let me see if I can find that. Fiber right here. Sometimes you have to open them up to find them. So we come in here, we're going to say silk. There you go. So these are all patterns that recommend silk. So you could make a Nydia hat. Vanessa Smith's stuff is absolutely gorgeous. She's from Washington. She did a shawl in one of our colorways actually. And this is knitted, and all of her stuff is just beautiful. So this takes, depending on what size you want, you could make, see what sizes it comes in. So the child small, the child medium, the child large, it looks like are going to be the ones you'd be able to access this with. So I think that this is probably too big for what you've got. So let's keep looking. Here's a really great little cabled piece that you could make. This takes about 90 yards or so. But yeah, so you can really get the criteria down really well. This would be really pretty though. This is another headband right here. So it's kind of, it kind of knits up kind of chunky, but it's got a lot of different textures to it. It's really pretty. Yeah, I would wear that. Looks like a lot of fun. So there's definitely options there, and you can certainly go through, take a look, and see what fits what you need. That's the thing about Ravelry that I love the most, is that I can just come in here and I can customize my search to exactly what it is I'm looking for, so that I'm not just going through a bunch of other stuff. I probably wouldn't recommend making a pair of gloves, but you could for something that's silk. But there's definitely a lot of different types of headbands that would work really well. So yeah, or you can make yourself like a little purse. This is really cute. This takes anywhere between 66 to 150 depending on what size you make. So this is just a little clutch bag that you can make as well. Super cute. Anyway, let's get back to actually spinning. I just wanted to show that off for you, kind of give you an idea and maybe a little inspiration. Also, good on your partner for getting you some beautiful yarn. You have some musk ox I need to use, but only small, very small quantities. I need to try narrowing down my searches like that. That's the only way I search Ravelry anymore. Like, I get frustrated if I just like go in there and look under, you know, search pattern or look under patterns and just start willy-nilly looking around, because I find stuff I want to make and I'm like, ooh, and then I go, oh, I don't have any of this stuff. Boo. So I narrow down everything. Yeah, you could absolutely plan a trip to see yarn stores in your area with Ravelry. You can go in there and look at what yarn stores are in a certain area by state, figure out where they all are, and then plan them out. And what's really great about that is it also tells you what type of yarns those stores carry. So if you see a yarn on Ravelry that you really want, you can look, and a lot of the time it'll tell you what local stores carry it. I don't either, Bubbles. Hey. You guys, I feel so productive. We're getting so much done tonight. Oh, carrying on. Thank you. It's kind of mesmerizing to do it too, honestly. Look at little Gracie's face. So insanely soft and expensive. Don't be terrified to use it. Make something amazing out of it. Even if it's not what you intended to do with it, just have fun. Did you lose sound, Elizabeth? Did you all lose sound? Ruh-roh. You guys let me know if you can still hear me. It's still showing that sound's coming through. Oh, whew, okay. I know how to use Ravelry. I know that I want a pattern from you, and that's why I just asked you to surprise me. That's fair. That's fair. Buy some yarn easily where I am, and I want to do something, but it's kind of expensive. Yeah, for real. Yeah, once you figure out all the ins and outs of Ravelry, it's a really great tool. Because not only do they have a ton of patterns on there, but if you look at their patterns, you can go check out... How do I explain this? When you're on Ravelry and you're looking at the patterns, it shows you how many projects have been made with that pattern. So if you're looking at the Exploration Station shawl by Stephen Weston as an example, there's probably like thousands upon thousands of projects under it, listed under it. These are all people who are making or have started to make that shawl. And what's really cool about that is it means you get to see what other people have done, how they've put colors together, what yarns they've used. More importantly, though, you can take notes on the pattern. So you can... Well, shit. You know what? I'm just going to show you what I mean. Sorry. We're going to go for another quick field trip here. We're going to go to a field trip. So this is my library of patterns. So as an example, let's see which one of these is going to have a lot of notes on it. So my bridesmaid stoles will have a lot of notes on it. So if you're looking at this, it has the project information. It tells you what the pattern is. You can click right on it. It tells you what yarn I used for it. And then here's the notes section. So for my notes for this shawl, it says, I had to attempt the wind-on provisional cast-on more times than I like to count. I tried countless YouTube tutorials, but they are all slightly different, and a lot of them were just plain unhelpful. When all is said and done, just use the link that the creator of the pattern has on their pattern page. The picture and the explanation are as straight as forward as they're going to come. It says, I did not keep my loose stitches on a stitch holder or on the cable of the needles I was using. Instead, I took a separate cable and placed them on there. My Addy interchangeables come with a metal cable connection piece, so I just locked the cable itself so the stitches wouldn't fall off. This has left the bottom of the garment separate from my needle, so knitting is much easier. So this is the kind of stuff you'll find in people's notes. Is you're going to find little tidbits and tricks like that where other knitters or other crocheters have said, hey, this is what I did to make this part of this easier. When we get into the chart, I said chart A is fairly straightforward and doesn't seem to have any mistakes. The pattern is a little tricky to memorize, but once you've done one or two repeats, it becomes much easier to anticipate the next stitch or to keep track of where you are. Normally I wouldn't say this, but the stitch markers are really vital in this pattern. They make the whole experience a million times easier. And then I talk about the next chart. Say it's fairly easy. It's a huge pain if you drop a stitch. I've memorized little tricks to keep count of where I am. As an example, I know that if I'm right above a cluster of stitches that were recently purled together, then I should be doing a yarn over, knit one, yarn over. If I'm at this point not directly above that cluster, then I know I'm off. Better yet, I know my mistake is somewhere within the last few stitches, since the last purl 3 together line up was correct. I've caught quite a few forgotten yarn overs this way. Once again, another quick tip for somebody to teach them how, or to show them how to read that part of the pattern so that they don't have to make the mistakes I made. I added beads to this pattern, which was not part of the pattern. So I decided to place beads wherever there is a purl 3 together. I've seen different variations of this throughout Ravelry and just personally decided I wanted one bead on each stitch instead of knitted together for the purl 3. It gives a nice cluster of 3 beads and adds a lot of sparkle to the garment. Please note the very first bead, or 3, technically are placed in chart B. That's where the first P3 together is, because that's the chart 3 is where I started to put the beads, but it had to start initially in the chart before that. So that's another little tidbit there. I could go on. There's a ton of notes on this one. But lots of people will put notes on their projects so that you just have an idea of what, either if there's mistakes in the pattern that the designer hasn't fixed yet, then you're aware of those. If they've tried something new like beading, then they can give you that tip of, start your beads in chart B instead of C. Or, if you're trying to read your work, that kind of thing. So there's definitely little tips and tricks to make your life easier, which is very helpful. You use people's notes all the time, but you're lazy about writing your own. It depends on the day. Sometimes I'm really good at it. Like I like that where I write a novel. And sometimes I'm like, you're lucky you have a picture, quite frankly. Oh yeah, the stash app on there is pretty epic. You have your permissions up. I love it. If I make any big changes to a product, I'll add my notes. Like my garlic hardy called for DK, but I did it in socks, so it changed everything. Exactly. And when you're going through a pattern, if you find an issue where things aren't counting up for you, where you're like, this just doesn't make sense to me, if you go through other people's notes, you'll either find that it doesn't make sense to them too, or they'll point out this was difficult because of this, but this is actually what this means. You'll get a lot of that, which is really helpful. Man, I've been chatty Cathy tonight. Guys, it's time. Yeah, it's time for the Wheel Up Goodies and Goof 'em Ups. It's our final round of the evening. Let's do this. Come right on over here. Legal boring stuff, and then we'll throw a winner out for all of you. Let's see who it's gonna be. Bubble Toes! Let me make sure you're not on here. I don't think you are, though. I think you've fallen off at this point. You have fallen off. Congratulations! Wow! You're our final contestant, my dear. Here's our wheel. It's beautiful. Sometimes it's a pain in my ass, but it's a great wheel. You've given me 2 games. Don't say that. You're testing fate. It's a good wheel. Wrong way. It's a good wheel. It's a very, 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 very good wheel. Mwah. Okay, we're going to spin it for you, Bubbles. Oh my gosh!
Game over.
You all understand that there's no way to rig this, right? It's just a button I push. Bubbles, I am so flipping sorry. I am so sorry. I don't know why the wheel hates you right now, but it is out to get you. It is out for blood, and I don't know why. Wheel, get out of here.
Goodbye.
Oh, whatever. Don't give me that baby talk. Ugh. Well, Bubble, you know the drill. This does mean that you are still eligible to play again on Monday. And also, we love you, and we're so glad that you're part of this family and this community, and thank you for being a subscriber. It means the world to us, guys. You know what else means the world to us? Our patrons and our members as well. So if you are interested in becoming a patron, you can head over to patreon.com/bosskitty. We have 3 different levels of Patreon awesomeness. And yeah, our patrons are just a solid group of littermates who help make this show and Boss Kitty in general just bigger and better every day. And we like to thank you guys with things like Please to Finish projects, early release to certain items like box sets and grab bags, goofy stuff like me singing. We are going to get the backlog of the dad jokes up there so that you guys can watch those whenever you want. And then somebody asked earlier, those Please to Finish projects, anything that we have put up for our patrons that's content related and not something you can necessarily purchase, that's available at all times. You can go in there at any point in time and you can watch that video on demand. You don't have to catch it while it's live. Also, we have a few little push goals. So once we hit 75 patrons, we'll do haikus. And then once we hit 100, you guys will have a patron exclusive colorway that's available on all of our bases. So thank you to all our patrons. And once again, if you want to join, go to patreon.com/bosskitty. And I do want to give a quick shout out to our members as well. Our YouTube members, you guys are amazing. Look at all this hype that we're getting with all of our little emojis. So for $1.99 a month, you too can be a member. All you have to do is push that little join button. You get a cool nifty badge that changes after every few months. And then you get the cool emojis. You get Con, you get Gracie, you get our lovely Hazel, and you get Zuzu. So yeah, and we'll probably have more stuff for our members later on down the road. We'll see how that goes. But with that, I do believe I can hear her walking down the stairs, getting impatient. Only if I can find Discord, though. There it is.
Time to clean up. Yay!
So we're going to do 2 show and tells real quickly. I'm not going to go through all of these, but I'm going to look at some of this Tour de Fleece stuff because I'm really proud of you guys. So Novel Knitter has started spinning again after a long time, and her first stuff was pretty chunky, and this is a little more even, and she's very proud of it, and she should be. We've got Knit and Craft right here, who's just starting back up again. This is gorgeous. It's got this really nice ombre vibe to it. Let's see. Roxanne is working with a drop spindle. It's a lovely drop spindle, top whirl like we just discussed. It's got this, and you can see how she fills it up with the bottom area, and then here is some of what she's spun up. It's really beautiful. And then she's working with a roll log as well. And then there's a Turkish spindle right there that you can see. So that's what's in there right now. I just wanted to show off a few of those for you guys. Speaking of Novel Knitter, today is her 37th birthday. Thank you. I knew I forgot. I couldn't remember who it was. Happy birthday to Laura. Oh my God. Happy birthday to you, Novel Knitter. And Laura, thank you for becoming a Littermate member. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Mwah. You thought you'd already done that. That's funny. So we've got some really cool chairs. Did you get this for your birthday? It's a really cool rocking chair. Look at that kiddo. Oh my gosh, he has your eyes. I can't believe how big he is getting. Oh my goodness. My heart is dying right now. This is the best birthday cake ever because I'm not a birthday cake fan. So cupcakes and the banana sundae. Oh God, that looks delicious. That face is killing me. It's so good. And then this is a quilt you're making for your grandma for her 80th birthday next month. It's beautiful. I love all of those pale purple colors. Like I said before, you have a real eye for putting colors together. It looks perfect. And then I just showed off your spinning, so we're going to hold off on that one because we just showed that one off. Pics I took of Saturn and the Lagoon Nebula. Lastly, something I've worked really hard on, my blood pressure. I used to be 160/90 on average. I'm not sure why it's not showing your guys' full names anymore. This is so flipping cool. Seriously, like, wow. You can see the rings and everything, you guys. And then here's the nebula. If you guys should actually go into Discord and look at this because there's different colors in here and it's magical. You said it used to be 160/90 and now it's 119/83. Do I have that right? Am I wrong, or is it 83/60? I don't know how this works, but I think it's good. I have no idea how any of it works. I just know that when I go in, they tell me what it is. I'm like, is that good? And they're like, yeah, you're fine. I'm like, cool. Yeah, it says F, right? Like, I'm like, why does it just say F? I'm making a tube blanket for my knitting machine and embroidering a shirt for my brother's birthday this month. It's his workplace logo, a tattoo shop. This is really neat. I never would have thought to use a knitting machine to make a blanket, but it makes sense that you can make those tubes and then just stitch them together. And if they're actual tubes and you haven't cut them, right, so that they're flat, it means that you can, you'll have a double padded blanket. Crochet, or Ashlyn, that is weird and dumb, and Discord should not boss people around like that. This is so cool. So is this all hand stitched? This is some talent right here. Holy shit. Oh my gosh, down to like the highlights in the eye. Oh my god, you guys are so much more talented than me in so many ways. Sandwich. The pattern is being tested and is almost ready to be available. Oh my god, this is too stinking cute. Is good or bad? I'm glad it's not just me. Oh my goodness, look at this, you guys. Alligator dude. And it looks like it's also a bag, which is really neat. That embroidery, right? Blew my mind. The first picture is my son at Topgolf in Pittsburgh. TK really wants to go to Topgolf. And the other two are of the delicious food we got at Hermanti Brothers when we went to Kennywood. My son got bacon ranch, cheesy fries, and I split a pastrami sandwich with my husband. And yes, that is coleslaw and fries on the sandwich. This looks like a lot of fun. Oh my god, now I'm starving. I have not eaten this evening. This looks so good. Fries are going to be the death of me. And coleslaw on a sandwich should always happen. All by hand. It's been a process. You're incredibly talented. Emma, first two photos are the beginning and the end of our grand opening. It went fantastic. And the third is my attempt at a no signal with TV static cardigan. Oh my gosh, congratulations on your opening. So this is before. And then, or the beginning of the day, and then here's the end of the day. Oh, I'm so glad for you guys. I hope it was super busy for you. Come on in. And then this is your work on your TV static cardigan. And it does look like TV static. I love it. Potato patch. I grew up next to Kennywood. Oh. Sandwich. Making a cat couch and my dog Badger is getting ready for bedtime. This looks really good. I love it. Crochet hooked. An updated pic of my new curtains. Granny squares for a new project. My sock yarn all balled and ready to go. These are going to look great. I love the top of them. I know you're doing this kind of without a pattern, and I think they're going to be really beautiful. I love the color on these granny squares, by the way. I'm all for bright colors, clearly. Your embroidery attempts are seriously sad. I bet they're pretty great. Ooh, this is exciting. I'm so excited to see everybody's socks. Mine are being difficult, and we'll go over that on Monday. Okay, finished my tee. Congratulations. It looks great on you. It seriously is super cute. The colors look great. It fits well. I'm always really excited when people's items come out just the way they want them. Sandwich just fixed this lovely bag. Nice, 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 nice. I don't know how to do any type of darning like that, so that's always really cool. I've always wanted to look into it though. Michi, a project I made fiddling with some Karen 1 pound. My own pattern for a patriotic crossbody bag. Today was your Friday. You have a long weekend for this first time in a very long time, and the sky spoke to you today while leaving work behind. The clouds were flipping someone off. Let's look at your bag first. This looks great. What a clever idea for a bag. It's super, super cute, and you should make this into a pattern. Also, I'm in love. This is fantastic. You should make a meme out of this. Samantha, here is me and my dad at softball. Love it. Oh, you guys are so sweet together. And then I saw a dragon like this earlier today. It was amazing. So this cat is just too much. This is so cool. You guys, this is completely crocheted or knit. I'd have to look really close at it to find out, but it's really neat looking. Oh, what a great picture. I like your shirt in this picture, Samantha. Johan the Yarn Druid. Love it. I had 2 big finishes since my last live. Finished my Pride Mesh crop top, a spooky Stardew Valley Biscornu, and here's my Beatrix on a blanket I made last fall. Okay, I have to say, your Pride top is probably one of my favorite Pride tops that I've seen in a very long time. I love it. I like that it's breathable because it's warm as fuck out. And the colors are just fantastic. It's so much fun. So good job. Let's see. This is too stinking cute. It looks like it's all cross stitch. Why are you guys so freaking talented? All the detail in there and the shading. And then look at this kitty. Oh, and that's actually a really beautiful blanket too. I'm all about the moths. So good. But your kitty is beautiful. Her coloring is just stunning. Miss Monster, look at that handsome fella. He's so sweet. Oh my goodness. Moss, my crochet buddy wonder, keeping me company while I work on my blanket, a new project, and how far along I am so far. I love when our pets hang out with us when we're working on our fiber arts. It's the best. This is super stinking cute. I love the little cutout down here. I love bralettes. I love crocheted and knitted bralettes. I think they're fantastic. They're great for one skein wonders, and they're just fun. And you're doing a great job. Oh my God, this looks amazing. I see a little wheel of goodies and goof ups in the side area. Vicky, this is my getaway from it all vacation cabin in Northern Ontario that a friend owns. No road access, no electricity. I'll be missing the lives August 5th through the 12th. That's okay. You can always watch the VODs and we'll be thinking of you. The second picture is another friend's house about 30 minutes from the other cabin. I'm so ready for vacation. This looks great. My friend Carrie has a cabin like that that's on a generator, and we used to go to it all the time. We'd do girls' weekends there with a bunch of our girlfriends, including my cousin. We haven't done one in years. I should call her. Those types of things are really needed. It's that camaraderie and that need to just get away and breathe out with no obligations to anybody. It's really important for your self-care. I'm very excited for you, Vicky. Matt, since we're talking about Turkish spindles, and your Stephen West mystery sock with BK sock blank contrast color. Love it. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Can't wait to see how it looks like when it's finished. His stuff is just so neat. And then here is a Turkish drop spindle. And this is beautiful, Matt. Your spinning is just the bees flipping knees, I swear. Ugh. Bubbles, Valley and Thor in their favorite cat tree for goofy naps. Went to the farmer's market this weekend and got some amazing beignets and cream. Oh my God. I love upside down kitty naps. They're the best. Tongue is sticking out. Okay, I have a confession to make. I've never had a beignet. I know they're supposed to be delicious. I've just never had one. So I'll have to fix that at some point in time. And JK, all of the Tour de Fleece spinning so far this year. Blue is merino, brown is Cordell, Icelandic, Leicester, cross, and the silky pink is merino silk, aka Gary the Unicorn. I think I've spun about a pound now. Oh my God, you are on it, girl. This is amazing. And it's all just so beautiful. Oh, Gary the Unicorn is stunning. It's really, really pretty. Seriously, I had to come back to it. You guys, that is one of the best show and tells we've had in a hot minute. Like, that was really good. There was lots going on, which always makes me super excited. Yeah, like, I just love seeing everything you guys are working on. TK will be here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time. I know that he's going to have to cut the show short because he has an eye appointment at 1:30. So just keep that in mind. But he will be here tomorrow to hang out with you guys. I will be back on... Look at this hair. It's falling on everything. I'll be back on Monday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time right here. We're going to work on our socks. I'm still working on my alt knots crochet socks. I'm having a little bit of a problem with the heel on it, and I want to show it off to you guys before I start frogging to figure out what the problem is. I want to talk to you. So if you've made them before, please be here because I would love some feedback on that. Oh my gosh, it's so great to be back, you guys. Vacation is nice, and hanging out with my friends in real life is really fun and everything, but I missed you guys, so it's good to be back. I love you all. Remember that second round of those blue box sets are going out this Friday, so just keep your eyes open for that. If you want anything like a merch code or anything, please make sure you message me in Discord so I can get that taken care of for you. Have a wonderful weekend. Do something fantastic and wonderful to make you smile from ear to ear because you deserve it. And as always, my loves, happy crafting. Good night.